Did Blake Lively just win her legal battle with Justin Baldoni? We're going to get into that. Plus, the Reiner family is speaking out about Ellen Jackson withdrawing from the Nick Riener case ahead of his upcoming arraignment, which will be happening next month. And Hilary Duff is bragging about cutting off friends amid this mommywood drama with Ashley Tisdale. Lots to get into. Hope you're ready for it. Let's dive in. This is No Filter with Zack Peter, your go-to source for all the latest pop culture and reality TV tea, served fresh all week long. Now, let's dive in. And dive in we shall. Welcome on in, everybody. Welcome on in. Welcome on in. Welcome on in. Everybody in the club. What's going on? Let's get it. Get it. Get it. Get it. Let's get it. Get it. Get it. Get it. Let's get it. Get it. Get it. Get it. Throw them hips, girl. Bum, 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 bum. What's up, everybody in the club? Okay, so very excited. I'm going to an event tonight for Spotify and the Hollywood Reporter for Globes Week, because obviously, like, podcasting is becoming a thing at the Globes now, because now that there's an official podcast category, which I know we've talked about at length, ad nauseum. I have one like random white hair. I mean, I have lots of white hairs, but I have like one random like squiggly, straggly white hair. What a time. What a time, what a time, what a time. Rep Amanda says, I love this upbeat positivity here. Yes, always. Joy says, well, Zack, good thing I didn't bet for money. I was guessing that you would have had your Metallica shirt on. No, I don't have my Metallica. Okay, first of all, I have multiple Metallica shirts. Okay, so let's not shade my Metallica tank tops. We love them. But no, I'm not wearing a Metallica. Oh, I should have, actually. Now that I think about it, it's like that actually would have worked. But I did go to the premiere. Well, not the premiere. A screening of Greenland 2. Oh my God, you guys. It was actually, it's interesting because it's like a post-apocalyptic world. Obviously, Greenland 1 is about like the apocalypse, and there's a few group of people that survive the apocalypse. So then part 2, which is the one I watched last night, it's in theaters this Friday. So tomorrow, Friday, it comes out. But it was interesting because well, one, I didn't see part 1, but I was like, well, it's an apocalyptic movie. Like, how many do you really need to see? So I went, and it was actually very good. I had quite the eventful time. I like wore my like my end of the world post-apocalyptic outfit. I had like my army pants, my boots, my black jacket. Like, we were living life last night. It was a cute vibe. I was having a good time. But the movie's good. I'd recommend you guys check it out. In theaters this Friday, January 9th. So that's tomorrow. In theaters tomorrow. Tomorrow is only a day away. We also have Traitors, which is coming back tonight. I'm hoping I can watch. Is it just one episode of Traitors, or are there multiple episodes of Traitors? I'm excited for season 4. I'm ready. I hope that we get some good moments. I hope the housewives make it pretty far. We don't want these housewives to keep getting voted out so early. Like last time, Dorinda better make it for at least a few episodes. Lisa Rinna better survive at least the first 4 episodes. At least the first 4. We need Rinna all the way through. So that's I'm standing on business because we have a good cast. There's like Lisa Rinna, Portia Williams, Dorinda Medley, Colton Underwood. Oh my God, I love me some Colton. Rob Roush. Is that how you say it? Rob Roush? Roche from what was it? Love Island. Remember how he was like the bad boy and everyone's like, oh, he's an F. We have Donna Kelsey. I don't really care about Donna Kelsey, to be honest. I can honestly like do without Donna Kelsey. She doesn't really do anything for me. But it's like, remember like last season they had, what was it? The British gay cousin. And everyone was like, what? Who? And they're like, yeah, he's like the gay Brit. He's in the royal family, but he's the gay one. And like, that was his claim to fame. Also, hello, Dylan Efron was really a nobody. He was Zac Efron's brother. And like, now he's a star. Dancing with the Stars. Oh, yes, they had Tom Sandoval last season. That is correct. So, oh yeah, Candace Dillard Bassett. That's right. What show is this? The Traitors, my love. Where have you been? The Traitors on Peacock. We're watching season 4 tonight. We will discuss it and break it down tomorrow on the podcast. Tomorrow is only a day away. Isaac said he's also dating he's also dating Dylan Efron. Hilarious. Hardy har. Okay. That said, let's talk the Reiner family, because the Reiner family is speaking out. They have issued a statement. So yesterday we reacted to the news live. Nick Riener was supposed to be at his arraignment and he was supposed to enter a plea. Everybody was thinking he was going to be entering a plea of not guilty for the murder of his parents. And the theory was that he was going to plead not guilty by reason of insanity and basically say that he wasn't in his right mind when he committed these murders. It's going to get a little dicey. Like, I have friends that work in the mental health space and I was talking to them about it. And some of them are like, listen, the facility that he was at, because there was a news story that was published in TMZ, I believe this morning or like overnight. So like late night, early morning. And they were saying that the facility that Rob Reiner, they had their son Nick at this facility. The facility was treating him. He seemed to have been doing well. He seemed to have been fine. And then something happened. They decided to change his medication. It's uncertain why, but according to this source in TMZ, the reason that they changed it will blow your mind. And changing that medication ultimately ended up messing with his psyche, which then, made him homicidal. So they haven't disclosed what exactly was the reason for changing the meds. I would imagine there's some sort of like HIPAA violation. I don't know. We don't even know the name of the facility, as far as I'm aware. That hasn't been like officially confirmed and reported. But so that was the theory that we were assuming Alan Jackson was going to present. Alan Jackson goes into court. He doesn't end up presenting that theory. Instead, he ends up withdrawing from the case. Now, presumably, the reason he withdrew from the case is because Nick Riener couldn't afford him. Like, he couldn't afford. I mean, Alex Jackson, I've heard from people that have reached out to me that he is a pretty penny. He's very expensive. And Nick Reiner's money comes from the Reiner estate. I know there was some money that he got from his grandmother, but you have to think about it. If Alan is going to be representing, I think Donna Bowling, she calls him AJ, Alan Jackson, AJ. If AJ, should we call him Alan or AJ? We're going to call him Alan because AJ just feels weird. I feel like that's like a little too cash. But so if he was going to be representing Nick in court, that was going to take some time, right? Like, that was going to be like an ongoing thing. So, yeah, I don't think that he was going to, even with grandma's money, I don't think he was going to be able to afford Alan very long. Not only that, but I also think the family, I don't think was willing to fork up any of the money. And I don't think that he was entitled to any of his parents' estate because there are laws preventing you from being able to inherit money if you're the one that commits the murder. And I think that's also part of the reason why they were going with the strategy of not guilty, because I believe if you're found not guilty, then I would assume you would still have access to those funds. No? I don't know. The family didn't know anything about Alan Jackson coming onto the case, according to the public defender. Right. I believe they were just as shocked. I think that there was probably some sort of plan to get the Reiner family money to pay for Alan. And obviously the family was going to be like, nope, we're not going to do that. We're not going to protect him. And so they issued a statement basically saying that they trust the courts and they trust the court system to do what it does and to, let the law dictate what happens next. They said that they're not willing. It seems they're not willing to help him out. They left him with the public defender. He now has a public defender. She's now representing him. There's a hearing that's coming up next month in February where he's then expected to enter a plea. I don't know. I mean, a public defender is not an Alan Jackson. That's no AJ. So I don't know what's going to happen. But the family is basically like, listen, he's in the hands of the court system now. They don't seem to want any part of it, which is, I want to say shocking, but not really, Because like I understand the layers of that, right? If there's been years and years of traumatic experiences with Nick and the trauma that that adds to the family, and then probably just being tired of him and all the chaos that he's brought to the family, we'll have to see what happens next. But Reprimanda says it was completely wild and crazy. I agree. It was completely wild and crazy. Christina says, yeah, he said it wasn't murmur, but I think, oh, is that the safe word murmur? Is that that's the YouTube safe word for that? But I think that it's because they are going for manslaughter due to his mental state. We'll see. We will see what happens. That said, Alan Jackson is no longer on the case. Arraignments next month. We'll see. Okay, let's talk. Okay, we need to get into the Blake Lively story because I know that's why a lot of you are here with this update. Because there's a lot to dive into, and you may be feeling like there's a lot going on, getting back into this new year with all the goals that you want to be setting, and it can feel a little overwhelming, right? You may be feeling a little heavy, a little depleted, a little off your routine after the holidays. Totally fine. I get it. But Prolon's 5-day fasting mimicking diet makes it easy to reset your body, your habits, and your energy heading into the new year. It works at a cellular level to rejuvenate you from within, supporting fat loss, glowing skin, sharper focus. And it's got a simple, structured plan that you can follow so that you can build momentum in just a few days. Prolon's fasting mimicking diet is a revolutionary plant-based nutrition program that nourishes the body while keeping you in a fasting state. It's based on more than 2 decades of research developed by USC's Longevity Institute, and it's backed by top US medical centers. Prolon has been shown to support fat-focused weight loss, energy, metabolic health, skin appearance, and more. 3 consecutive cycles of Prolon have been shown to reduce your biological age score by an average of 2.5 years and your waist circumference by 1.5 inches. Looking cute. So I actually enjoyed the program. I thought the food was really good. I loved the crackers and this and little soup and some teas. It was actually, I liked it because I didn't feel like I was starving. You know, normally when you do like a fast, you can feel hungry. I didn't feel hungry because it's a fasting mimicking diet program. So just in time for the new year, Prolon is offering No Filter listeners 15% off their 5-day nutrition program for your post-holiday glow up when you go to prolonlife.com/nofilter. That's Prolonlife, PROLON, prolonlife.com/nofilter for 15% off. Prolonlife.com/nofilter. Let's get it. Okay. I just have to let everybody know this is the big reveal, the big news, because there was a whole feature done, and the feature was done by none other than Us Weekly. And Us Weekly has made a determination, you guys. They have decided, they've done the work, they've done the investigation, they've got the experts to weigh in. Us Weekly's latest cover, Justin and Blake, legal battle, 1 year later. Who's really winning? With millions at stake, reputations on the line, insiders and experts reveal how the power has shifted as Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni inch closer to trial. Dun, dun, dun. Well, I know you're on the edge of your seats to find out what Us Weekly has determined. But Us Weekly is here to let us know. Lively versus Baldoni. Who has the legal advantage? Are you ready for it? Are you ready? Here we go. Lively versus Baldoni. Who has legal advantage? Well, according to Trey Lovell, an entertainment and defamation lawyer, so far, Lively has racked up more wins, largely because the court dismissed Baldoni's $400 million cross complaint. So they're saying Blake Lively has won the court battle. Then you have Lisa Bloom, a civil rights attorney, who says Lively's side has the advantage since Baldoni's aggressive countersuit against her, claiming defamation and extortion, was thrown out. Okay, well, it was thrown out based off a technicality. Let's not based off of, I mean, listen, she played a smart legal game, but that doesn't mean that her allegations are true. So, according to Us Weekly, Blake Lively is winning the legal battle. Okay. Not at trial yet. Blake Lively hasn't presented any evidence yet. Baldoni's been able to add a lot of context to some of the allegations. A lot of her allegations seem to be falling off. She seems to no longer be making Baldoni the target of her case. She's now pivoting to Jamie Heath. But okay. All right. These random people, these experts, these insiders, attorneys say that it's Blake Lively, even though you can very easily find attorneys that say the opposite. So thank you, Us Weekly, for your non-biased coverage. Then they said, who has the advantage in the court of public opinion? Dun, 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 dun. Obviously, listen, what do you guys think? You are the court of public opinion. Do you think Lively has the advantage, or do you think Baldoni has the advantage? Okay. You are the court of public opinion. Us Weekly is the mainstream media. Let's see what Us Weekly has to say. According to Us Weekly, and according to their expert, their PR expert, Mark Burkowski, Lively has controlled the narrative largely because Baldoni torched his own credibility early and then kept adding patrol. The New York Times expose froze him in the public imagination, and every subsequent overreach, like the mega lawsuits, the lawsuit website, the Taylor Swift subpoena, only reinforces the sense of a man fighting gravity. Dun, dun, dun. Lively's camp hasn't been flawless, but they've been disciplined, consistent, and professionally insulated. Wow. Wow. A year on, the broad perspective hasn't shifted. She looks strategic and ready. He looks like he's still trying to claw back a story that slipped away long ago. Who the fuck are these people? Like, who is this loser? This PR expert? I don't know. I kind of feel like I'm in the court of the court of public opinion here. I think you're in the court of public opinion here. Do you think that this PR expert and Us Weekly, they're going to be the authorities on what the public has determined? I don't know. Have you been online lately? Have you, I don't know, seen more than ex-patriarch's Twitter account? I'm a little confused because I feel like overwhelmingly the court of public, like you can say that Blake Lively maybe has a legal advantage because her case is technically still active. However, she has her hearing on January 22nd that will determine what, if any, of her claims will be moving forward to trial. The judge has to hear the motion for summary judgment from the Wayfair parties. They're claiming that a number of her allegations have been unsubstantiated. They don't have evidence to support them, and that this does not need to move to trial, right? Baldoni, yes, defamation was taken off the table for him, but that was because she was smart. So when she made her allegations, she put them in the CRD complaint, which again was random because the movie was filmed in New York and New Jersey. She lives in New York, yet she filed a California Civil Rights Department complaint in California, didn't sue him in California, has nothing going on with him in California currently, but yet made sure to file that complaint there. When they wanted to investigate it, she didn't want them to investigate it. When a third party was brought in to help investigate her claims, she didn't want to. She didn't have Sony investigate it. She didn't have SAG investigate any of her claims. Every single investigation that she had an opportunity to push forward into her allegations, she did not want or declined. Okay? Gonna get off my soapbox now. So, according to Us Weekly, who's winning your overall scorecard? Dun, dun, dun. Lively is up, but she could still lose at trial. Bloom says Lively is way up. Baldoni's a bull in a china shop tactics have demolished his own side. Dun, dun, dun. Okay. Blake Lively's winning across the board, according to all their experts. Lively versus Baldoni, whose reputation has suffered more? Courtney Loplin, a talent manager, says directors usually feel reputational turbulence more strongly because the public ties behind the scenes conflict to leadership. Actors tend to be more frequent projects and visibility to tend to have more frequent projects and visibility to stabilize their image. So the impact here is generally softer. This has also hurt Lively's reputation, though. Every day something new comes out that doesn't make her look good. Okay, but they're still saying that directors are probably the ones with more to lose and have the worst reputations because Blake Lively can recontrol the narrative. Got it. Lively versus Baldoni. What are the long-term career implications? They were part of this huge public battle. So no matter the outcome, this will affect them both professionally. Brands do not want to work with people who could be problematic. It's wild. Let's see. Let's keep reading. Does the trial delay signify anything, and who does it benefit? So, John Carpenter, who's a lawyer and co-founder of Carpenter and Zuckerman, says criminal cases take precedence over legal matters, and courts today are overburdened and oversourced and undersourced. A delay in a couple of months isn't unusual and doesn't necessarily signal strength for either side. Got it. Thank you. Bloom says a 2-month delay is not significant. And the judge is correct. It doesn't matter that the case involves A-list celebrities. Got it. Baldoni's countersuit was dismissed. How significant is that? Bloom says it was seismic. He will now go into court not only as the accused, as the accused, not the accuser. Lively will not be required to pay him for anything, and he could be ordered to pay $500 million in damages. She says she can prove. Well, that'll be determined at court. Does the judge appear more skeptical of one side over the other? He warned Lively and Baldoni trying the case in the press. Lavelle says, the judge is taking shots across the bow to make sure out-of-court statements and publicity don't get out of hand. In high-profile cases, it's not unusual for a judge to dissuade trying the case in the press. Bloom says Baldoni's using the litigation for a PR showmanship. Wow. Let's see. Then what should we expect at trial? Oh, Lavelle says Lively will have a difficult time proving her case. This is not a typical workplace environment where physical touching and romantic conduct would be clearly unlawful. Okay, so Lavelle's having a little change of heart here, saying that it's going to be a challenge for Blake Lively. And then Bloom says trial lawyers start anew when they walk into trial. Lively's team must remain humble and vigilant. They must sell her, an A-list celebrity, as a relatable sexual harassment victim. See, here they're basically admitting that Blake Lively is going to have a really tough time at trial, but the way that they're even wording it is like very delicate around her. They're like trying to be like, we're unbiased, but like we're delicately like trying to say that she's probably going to lose if she can't prove her case, which is technically true. Here's the thing with pieces like this, right? When you have attorneys that you have come in and give comment on a certain situation, these attorneys really can't give comment because they don't, one, know all of the details of the case, and two, they don't want to they don't want to put their professional opinion too heavily out there. Like they try to play it even keeled. I'm actually surprised at how much they're leaning on Lively's side in this case, considering I feel like the court of public opinion has absolutely been in favor of Justin Baldoni. And that's not just my opinion. Go on social media anytime, TMZ, Entertainment Tonight, Us Weekly, Page Six, anytime they put a headline that is positive about Blake Lively or even negative about Justin Baldoni, you will see the comments flood. And those comments are from people, and they're all in there, and they're like, I'm not a bot. I don't like Blake Lively. I don't like what she's doing for victims. Like all of this stuff, right? It's overwhelming when the mainstream media continues to try and control the media, or to try and control the headlines and the narrative in favor of Blake Lively. And the public is constantly responding by saying, hey, we don't buy this. We don't believe you. We don't like her. Gaslighting them further doesn't really do what you think that it's going to do. So I'm sorry. But I mean, they could have at least brought in some experts to kind of give Baldoni side, rather than a whole game of like who's winning and then determining at the end, we think Blake Lively is winning. What they could have just done is been like, let's catch you up to speed on what's going on. Here's Lively's case. Here's Baldoni's case. Here's where they stand. Here's what to expect come trial. Leave it at that. Get experts that can kind of speak favorably and, question both sides as well. They don't seem to really want to be questioning Blake Lively. The most they're really giving us is like, well, any case can be, an uphill battle come trial, and like Blake's going to have to prove her case. No shit. But to be like, Baldoni, it was a seismic, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's hyperbolic. It's inflammatory. They know exactly what they're doing, and that's trying to keep a positive relationship with Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. Carol says they just can't read the room. Blake is a snake. But see, that's the thing. I feel like most people in the general public, or here's the thing. Most people in the general public are over this case. They don't care. They don't want to hear about it anymore. They think that they're both insufferable. The people that have actually really dug into the weeds of it really believe Justin Baldoni, right? When you really look at everything that he's presented and all of the games that she's playing legally and all of the redactions, and let's try to make sure none of the evidence gets out, and let's try to make sure that her own deposition doesn't get out. Like, it's all so interesting. She's trying to keep everything under lock and key. She's trying to keep everything under attorney's eyes only protections. She doesn't give real justified reasons why, other than like, it's sensitive. I mean, her own deposition, she wouldn't even sit for more. So most people sat for 2 days of depositions when they were questioned, right? Because you have all the different teams in here. You have the Jed Wallace parties, you have the Wayfair parties, you have Jennifer Abel and her, like there's so many pieces to it that the fact that she wouldn't sit for 2 days of a deposition in her own case, and she only sat for 7 hours, which is, I believe, the maximum amount of time you can sit for a deposition in a single day. We're hearing that her team was taking extended lunch breaks to screw with the time. So I don't know. Her own behavior seems entitled, so it doesn't seem highly unlikely that she was entitled on the set. So when they have all of these text messages of all of the crew members and everybody complaining about her behavior on set, there was also, Donna posted something. There was a woman who claimed on Instagram, she claimed that for the birthing scene, we know that was one of the big problematic scenes because she was like, I was practically nude. And then they're like, you had a hospital gown on, you had a prosthetic belly, and you had briefs on. Like, what do you mean you were practically nude? And like, what? Anyway, in that scene, they're holding a baby. The baby has parents. There's a woman on Instagram right now that's claiming that she's the mother of that baby and she was present for the filming of this scene. I don't know if Blake Lively is going to consider her essential or non-essential. Remember, because she was like, well, Steve Sarowitz was there and he's non-essential. And Steve Sarowitz is like, I paid her salary. So unless she wants to write me, if she really thinks that I'm unessential to walk onto my own movie set, which he didn't even visit often, but he happened to be in town and went to go visit the set, or happened to be in the area and happened to go visit the set, and especially after hearing all the drama that's been going down because she's been difficult to work with, it's crazy. He was like, I wasn't even there to see her. She happened to be filming a scene that day, and I happened to, yes, technically be on set. But the fact that she said that I was non-essential when I'm the one funding this film, I'm the one that paid her salary, like, that's crazy. It's crazy. She wasn't even naked. It was a birthing scene, which is not sexual in any way. It wasn't like one of the sex scenes, right? That he wanted to come and like eat his popcorn and watch her on camera. Like, it's crazy to me. It's truly, truly crazy to me. Isaac says, I don't think people have researched Shapiro's resume, Alexandra Shapiro's resume, the woman that makes the floor shake. She will not lose this kindergarten stupid, pathetic case. Wait, what was the point that I was making before that? I was making a point about, damn it, I got distracted. We would have some problems would she have problems if it were Paul Feig? Yeah, no, she's clearly just making these issues up because she's trying to prove this case because she didn't expect him to actually fight back. Everything is just lost when you break it down to one thing. She never signed her contract. Yeah, never signed her contract. Basically tried to extort them the entire time working on this film. It's crazy when you actually go through and it's like, okay, well, we're seeing all of his side. We haven't seen anything on her side. And even her allegations, she's like, I was nearly nude and he had his friend come and look at my coochie. And it's like, what? The actor that played the OBGYN? What? And then he's like, I'm a real actor. I live in, she's like, that sort of role would normally go to a local actor. And then the actor came out. He's like, hi, yeah, I'm a local actor. I live down the street. I'm in New York. I'm a SAG actor and I live in New York. I'm technically exactly what she described as a local actor for this small role. It's crazy. Oh, you were talking about Sarowitz as an actual investor. Yes, but I had a point to that. I forgot the point that I was trying to make. He invested $10 million. That's like 60% of the budget. Yeah. It's like, if she wants to write me a check, I'll give her my address. And it's like, yeah. I thought Steve put 30 million. I don't remember the exact numbers. You have to remember, guys, we've been going through all these details for over a year now. Blake suffers from delusions after living in her decrepit bubble for so long. I think she was never told no. From what we've heard about her upbringing, her child, she was never told no. She throws tantrums. She tries to take things as far as she absolutely can. And that's what this feels like. It feels like a tantrum. It feels like she's trying to stretch it out as far as she possibly can. And I don't know how it's going to go from here. So we'll see what happens at trial. I mean, we do know that the reality is she could prevail. He could lose. Again, just the way that she's gone about it. I don't know. I think her reputation in Hollywood, I think her reputation in the court of public opinion, I think it's already been pretty cemented. Even if she does have a win in court, I just think the public is over her. And I think Baldoni's going to have a hard time with this too. I really, really do. Like I said, most people are so tired of both of them and they find them both insufferable because they're not following the details and they're not in the weeds like you and I are. I don't know. Raquel says, how do you even argue or come to an agreement with a pro Blake Lively person? They get so defensive. I tried to comment on a Reddit post and immediately regretted it. Yeah. Like it's so like they're so obsessive about and they're mincing words. They're picking apart. They're like, he smelled her and said she smelled good. And then again, we saw the video of it. We saw how that conversation played out and the context behind it. It's crazy to me. Crazy. You guys, crazy. Ryan has to be taking heat too. I think he'll be fine. I mean, as much as we want to be like, oh, women have come so far, like most people would rather hate on a woman than they would a man. Like that's just kind of a reality that still exists today. I think sexism, unintentional sexism, is misogyny. It's still very much alive and well today. So I think she will take more of a beating than Ryan will, for sure. Literally no evidence of SH. She's delusional. Well, all of her claims seem to have continued to fall apart. That's why she's now pivoting onto Jamie Heath being the main aggressor in all of this. And it's like, what? I thought this whole thing was about Baldoni. And then all of your allegations against Baldoni began to crumble, and none of your witnesses seem to be helping you. And even like the remember Claire? Oh my God, Claire, she secretly recorded her meeting with Sarowitz. And you're going to tell me that wasn't like a deliberate and intentional way to like set them up. So that's why when you have Baldoni texting other crew members and he's been like, I feel like they're trying to set us up with this or with that. Like, yeah, now it does kind of feel that way now that we're seeing all the evidence collectively come together. Zach, you were pointing out paying my salary earlier. Yeah, I know, but I forgot the point that I was trying to make and why I went into that. But yeah. There was a point that I was trying to make before I talked about Sarowitz and paying for her salary. There was a point that I had in my head that I was trying to work us towards. So we will see. We will see. We're talking about the baby's mother and the birthing scene. Thank you. Yes. So she commented and she said, based off of what she saw on that set, she's 100% Team Baldoni, which tells you something. Thank you for reminding me. What is it? Yo Maria Justino. Thank you. Zach, imagine going to a meeting with the CEO of YouTube, but you choose to sabotage it because you wanted to get involved in litigation for another creator. That's crazy. Claire, stupid. She thought like she's going to go and meet with the person that's funding her project and backstab him by secretly recording him, trying to bait him into something, and then going and giving that illegally obtained audio to Blake Lively to validate her delusions that there was a smear campaign against her. Crazy. And look at it, completely blew up on Claire. Like Claire truly screwed her. Here's the thing. A lot of these people thought that they were making the smarter choice by aligning with Blake and Ryan because they thought that that was going to help their career in the long run. They didn't give a shit about SH. They didn't give a shit about doing what's right for women. They did not give two fucks. They cared about their own careers. And now it's becoming abundantly clear the more we peel apart this investigation. They screwed themselves. All of them. All of them. I'm actually surprised that Jenny Slate and Brandon Sklenar still have careers right now. I mean, Isabella Ferreira is done, but I mean, or maybe she can dye her hair, resurface in 2 years, and try something new. I don't know. I feel like Isabella's going to have that stink on her for quite some time, especially because she looks so much like Blake Lively. That's why she was cast to play the younger version of her. Jenny Slate, Brandon Sklenar is completely unscathed, like completely unscathed. The fact that he's doing all these other films, he just had the Sydney Sweeney, Amanda Seyfried film. He's always going to have like a stain of this, a hint of it, but like he seems to be getting out of this unscathed. You just have to kind of weather the storm, right? It drives me nuts when I forget the point that I was trying to make. Thank you. Is it just me, or is the article a little late to the party? It is a little late to the party. The Us Weekly article, crazy. Okay, well, that's Lively versus Baldoni. Like I said, we're gonna have a lot of evidence that's gonna be under um that's going to be under or going to be released from the redactions soon. It will be unsealed. That's the word that I was thinking of. Raquel says, I'll dye my roots for Sklenar. Yeah, listen, Brandon Sklenar is hot. He is hot. Isabella should remove the mole also. Otherwise, we will always recognize her, even with another hair color. Yeah. Amy says, it's like having a mental karate chop, these crazy things to these crazy twists to things, right? Like the Blake bots, like they're like I guess the new narrative. I've been so out of tune with them, but the new narrative is that Baldoni harmed 9 women. That was somebody sent me a video. Please don't, please don't, please. I beg of you, do not send me any of these crazy wackadoodle videos from like ex patriarch or whatever MJ. Like, don't, please, because then it gets stuck in my algorithm, and then I watch it. I'm like, oh, why am I? All it does is piss me off. But there was one video where he's like, there were 9 women that Baldoni tried to harm. And then you get into it, and one of them's like, Leslie Sloan, he accused her of defamation. It's like, well, yeah, she's Blake Lively's publicist. Like, there's the legal definition of defamation, and then there's, just planting negative stories about somebody to protect your client, Blake Lively. So she wasn't innocent in anything. She just wasn't found culpable of directly defaming Baldoni. But also, we never really got to explore that because the case got thrown out so early and again, it was all because of the litigation privilege from Blake Lively making her defamatory statements in a protected document. So her words were protected. Fairfax Vivian says, come on, Zach, Us Weekly is not reported accurately because they are paid to write positive stories about Blake Lively. Yeah. I mean, not necessarily always directly paid, but they are heavily influenced because they make money off of her, and it's better for them to stay in good graces of Blake and Ryan. So we'll see. Praying for an appeal of that case. I don't know if there is necessary. Well, no, because based off of the judge's ruling, her statements, even if they're proven to have been defamatory, right? Those statements are technically protected. So she has her litigation privilege, which is exactly why she didn't give this expose to the New York Times. They learned from Amber Heard. So rather than writing the words in a publication like the New York Times, they just had the New York Times report on the CRD complaint because everything said in the CRD complaint is protected. I worked with a woman. This is 15 cents. It says, I worked with a woman in college at a restaurant, and one time I walked into the restroom and caught her painting on her mole beauty mark. It was fake. Thank you for the random comment of the day. I was like, oh, we're going somewhere with this. Blake thinks that every man wants to see her cooch, her boobs, and she really needs to get over herself. She really does. Like, she really does. Proven defamatory statement should always trump protected filings. I don't know. That's going to have to be challenged, especially since the CRD complaint was in California and there are new Me Too protections in California that, protect you from countersuing someone like Blake Lively. So yeah. I don't know. What? The mole is fake? Not Blake Lively's mole. Someone's friend in college that was in a bathroom putting on a fake mole. I think Blake Lively is very masculine looking, just my opinion. Okay. My phone recorded the TV. Oops. Oh, okay. Now we're just throwing random statements out in the live chat today. Okay. All right, let's see. What else? Spencer Pratt, you guys, is running for mayor. So there's the election is happening here in California in June, and Spencer Pratt has officially announced that he's going to be running for mayor. Woo woo. Heidi Montag came out and she's like, "That's my man. I support my man." I was like, "You go, girl." So that's interesting. That's exciting. Listen, the fires in LA from last year and the burning. I love that he announced it on the 1 year anniversary of the fires. Like, could you imagine? Isn't Karen Bass? She just announced that she's going to run again. Spencer Pratt versus Karen Bass. Let's go, Spencer. Let's go. I'm Spencer all the way. I'm here for it. Spencer Pratt. Let's go. Heidi, our first lady. Yes, get Karen Dumbass off my television screen. I don't like her Joker smile. She always has that one. I wonder if it's Botox because sometimes people get Botox here. I once got Botox here, and it like makes your mouth do this. It like gives you that weird mouth so that your muscles aren't pulling down here. And so I did, yeah, you get them here so that it's not like your muscles aren't pulling down. But so what it does is then gives you like that little weird, that weird mouth that Karen Dumbass has. I bet Hollywood gets behind Spencer. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I feel like Hollywood's been awfully quiet since the fires. So we shall see. Amy says he will be my first political donation, and I don't even live in California anymore. I'm from the Central Valley. Okay, Central Valley. I find Spencer Pratt so hot. I love opinionated, protective men. Did you like Hilary Duff's opinionated, protected men? But good for Spencer. Hilary Duff, let's talk about her really quickly. Because obviously there's all this drama with Hilary Duff and what's her name? Ashley Tisdale. And so now everybody's coming out with stories. There was Annalise Vanderpool. She used to be on That So Raven. She played Raven's best friend, Chelsea, the redhead. She was talking to Christy Carlson Romano. Christy Carlson Romano was on Even Stevens. She played Shia LaBeouf's sister, Ren. So they had a podcast together, and she was talking about, or Annalise Vanderpool from That's So Raven. She was talking about how she had to wait on Ashley Tisdale one time, and how she didn't exactly say that Ashley was rude to her, but she wasn't like, I don't know, she was kind of alluding to maybe Ashley wasn't the warmest, or she was kind of awkward. And listen, a number of people have reached out to me and given me details and context about Hillary and about Ashley and their relationships with them. So I think they're all awful. I just want to say that. I think they're all awful. So I think this is just stupid sorority girl drama. It's like the sorority girls, right? When they fight, and then one goes and she's like, "I'm innocent," and the other one's like, "Oh, you're a bitch," and it's just that catty drama. But they're all really awful at the end of the day. It's like if the Mean Girls got into a fight, like they did get into a fight. You know, Katie Heron and Regina George, or even Gretchen and Regina, both terrible, right? Both the plastics. I think that's these girls are the mommy wood plastics. But yeah. Hilary Duff, she did so a few weeks before all of this blew up. She was on the Therapist podcast with Jake Shane, and she was talking about cutting friends off. She says, "I've always had a good gauge with people. I think it's like a little talent that I have really good friends, and it doesn't take me long to figure someone out and figure out if someone's not for me." Dun dun dun. She said friendship breakups could possibly be worse than a real breakup. But she says you have to own it and be like, "I can't show up for you in this capacity right now. It's overwhelming. Like, I need some space." And so she was talking about how like she's so good. She's like, "I've had a few times." She's like, I had to do it a few times. "I always want my side of the street to be clean. I don't want to make anyone feel bad, but my actions, I'd rather have a conversation about it." And so then, a couple weeks later, Ashley Tisdale talks about cutting out the mommy friends. So it seems like they're both in this, like, "Oh, I'm good. No, I'm good. No, I'm good. I'm better than you, and I'm respecting my boundaries. That's everybody see right now. I'm respecting my boundaries. I'm an asshole, and a dick to you, but I'm respecting my boundaries. Please, 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 please. Isaac says Christy Carlson Romano is insane. She's always trying to insert herself like Kevin Bacon 6 Degrees. Love her though. I'm surprised at how connected she is. You're right. She is trying to always insert herself like Kevin, like, yeah, 6 Degrees from Kevin Bacon. Um, she does it a lot when you really think about it. And I'm like, girl, I don't remember you past Even Stevens. Like, okay, maybe you had Kim Possible, but like that wasn't your face. It was Kim Possible, right? So everyone knows Kim Possible, but everyone doesn't always remember that Kim Possible was voiced by Christy Carlson Romano. Like she had her finite window where she was like really relevant, and it was Even Stevens, it was Cadet Kelly, um, it was all those shows. But like since then, she like is trying to be like I don't know all her stories. She has so many stories, and yeah, it's too many things. Too many things. Respect those who opened your doors, Sharpay. Yeah. She was also Beauty and the Beast on Broadway for like 2 weeks. Oh, I do remember hearing about that. I never watched it. Interesting. It was only 2 weeks. Christy Carlson Romano. Now we're gonna do a deep dive into Christy Carlson Romano. Let's see. Let's pull up her Wikipedia page and see what she's been up to. Christy Carlson Romano is an American actress, podcaster, and singer. On the Disney Channel, she played Ren Stevens on Even Stevens and voiced the character for the titular character from Kim Possible. She was Kim Possible. Oh, she went to GalaxyCon in 2019. She's 41. Interesting. Okay, let's see. What was she wrote books. She was Belle for 31 weeks. That was some shade, Isaac. Isaac's like, she was Belle for like 2 weeks. She was Belle for 31 weeks. You guys are being mean to Christy Carlson Romano. Let's see. But I want like, I guess we can read her Wikipedia page. Okay, so she started on Broadway. Cute. Then in 2002, she acted in 3 Disney Channel projects, simultaneously supplementing her work on Even Stevens. She starred in Cadet Kelly with Hilary Duff. She did Kim Possible. And that's it. Oh, so those were the 3. It was Cadet Kelly. Oh, so literally the 3 credits that I listed earlier were her 3 only credits at Disney Channel. Got it. Let's see. She also did the Kim Possible movies, Kim Possible So the Drama, and Kim Possible A Stitch in Time. I remember watching those when they came out. I used to love that shit. Oh, take me back. She was in, she voiced Yuffie in Final Fantasy VII. Great. She also was in the Disney Square game Kingdom Hearts. Oh, I remember I was never much of a video game kid. Like I had like times where I would like do little video games. I was never like a lot, like I could never really get into them fully though. I did try. Let's see. She also throughout her teens and 20s, she starred in movies for ABC Family. Remember ABC Family? Now it's Freeform. RIP. And Disney Channel, including Campus Confidential, don't know it. Taking 5, don't know it. The Cutting Edge, Going for the Gold. I don't know. Was that the skater one? Was she a skater? Interesting. She was also on MTV's Kaya, CBS's Joan of Arcadia, the WB's Summerland, and TNT's Hawthorne. Then in 2004, she did a 31-week run as Belle on Disney's Beauty and the Beast on Broadway. She was the youngest actress to portray the character on Broadway. Well, yeah, because everyone on Broadway is fucking old. She reprised the role. Ooh, and she did a second stunt, Isaac, in the live chat. She reprised her role in Atlanta's 2005 Fox Theater production of Beauty and the Beast. In September 2008, she then joined the Broadway company of Avenue Q as Kate Monster. Who is Kate Monster? Then she went off Broadway. Then she was no longer on Broadway. Then she was off Broadway, and she was in White Lies along Betty Buckley and Tuck Watson. Don't know who those are. What else? She wrote a book, a novel called Grace's Turn. Who's Grace? And she won the award 2017 Book of the Year. Wow. She directed a music video for Steph Gold. I don't know who Steph Gold is. These credits are not looking too strong. Then she appeared as pop star Poppy Blue in the live action Kim Possible television movie, which premiered in 2019. There was a live action Kim Possible movie. That's right. There was a live action Kim Possible movie. But why did I not watch it? I mean, granted, I was a little too old to be watching that shit. That's right. I forgot about this. So she was in it, but she didn't play Kim Possible. She played someone else. She played Poppy Blue. Who was Poppy Blue? Poppy Blue. She was blonde. Interesting. Cute. And then she was on Special Forces. Yeah. She did her podcast. She has a Kim Possible podcast. Didn't even know. And she has an Even Stevens podcast. Since when? Oh my God. I didn't even know she had all these podcasts. Well, that's why they call her a podcaster. She has so many. Oh, she has her own podcast network. Wow. And she watches all the old Disney Channel shows. Wizards of Waverly Place, Ned's Declassified, Even Stevens. Literally don't care. Like, genuinely do not care. Canada would love to have you, Zack. Would you? Oh. You coming to Canada soon? Oh, thank you for the super chat, Crystal. So sweet. Crystal, I know we are correct. My intuition says that everything is going to go Blake's way. It's been over a year, and the mainstream media and normal people still believe. No, they don't. Trust me, even the mainstream media doesn't believe Blake's narrative. I'll tell you that for a fact. They don't believe Blake. They just have to be loyal to Blake. When I try to explain to people, people will say, "That's not what I read." Trust me. I miss Wizards of Waverly Place. Yeah, but like, I don't even really want to watch old episodes of Even Stevens, let alone a recap podcast of Even Stevens. Like, that's not interesting to me. Like, is that interesting to you? Do you want to watch a recap of Wizards of Waverly Place? Like, it was interesting when like Selena Gomez came back and paid homage to her character. What was her character's name? Alex Wizardly. What's her name? I never watched Wizards of Waverly Place, but I saw that Hannah Montana's coming back. Miley Cyrus just confirmed that she's doing a Hannah Montana something. She's like, I got my wig on. She's like, I got my Hannah Montana wig. So she's up to something very interesting. I'm so old. I've never heard of these Disney shows. Alex Russo died. Zack, play some respect to the queen. No, she didn't die. I did see that on TikTok. She didn't die. Oh, her name is Alex Russo. Her name's not Alex Wizardly. Why is it called Wizardly Place? What is it? Wizards of Wizardly Place? What's the show called? Wizards of Waverly Place. There we go. So yeah, that is a spoiler, Raquel. Sorry. So they rebooted. I never watched it, but I did catch. I do tune into TikTok to be like, oh, there's a reboot. Like, what's going on with Raven's Home? Or mostly like, what's the drama, right? Because remember, there was like drama between Chelsea and Raven in real life. Like because I guess at some point Chelsea left the show. Like they got rid of Annalise Vanderpool from the Raven reboot, and we don't really know why. And then there was drama with like Boy Meets World and Girl Meets World and Danielle Fishel. Like that's a whole thing. Ben Savage, crazy. That's the shit I love. But so in watching, in falling down that rabbit hole, I did come across the Alex Russo. I almost called her Alex Cooper. Yeah, apparently she dies. Like she comes back and she has like a secret kid, and then she like sacrifices herself for the secret kid. And then the secret kid's like, "Oh my God, you're my mom." And she's like, "Oh my God, I'm your mom. I cast a spell and we all forgot that I'm your mom because I was trying to hide you." So like nobody knew that Alex Cooper had our daughter, and her daughter was black. That did raise some questions for me. I was like, Alex Russo, what? No judgment. They picked a girl that did look anything like Alex Russo. I was a little confused. Like, are we sure you're the mom? Anyway, Yeah, she like sacrificed herself to save the mom. And then the brother, who's kind of cute, who plays Alex's brother, I don't know, the other wizardly, he was like, oh, don't worry, we'll find your mom. And the little girl was like, oh my God, my mom, that was my mom. He's like, we'll find her, don't worry. So I don't think they found her, or maybe they haven't found her yet, Isaac. So yeah. Ben Savage is my imaginary husband. How many husbands do you have, Isaac? Truly, how many husbands do you have? Why do they keep rebooting so many TV shows? Have we run out of ideas? Clearly, because what it is they want to they don't want to take strategic risks, right? Like there are no more like good sitcoms or good like TV shows. Like unless you're like you were Shonda Rhimes and they gave you like 15 different shows to develop, most of which I don't feel like really went anywhere. Oh, speaking of Shonda Rhimes, do you remember? Like what was it? Thank God It's Thursday, where they had How to Get Away with Murder, they had Scandal, and they had Grey's Anatomy. I never got into Grey's Anatomy, I'll tell you that, but I did love How to Get Away with Murder and Scandal. Oh, I used to love watching those back to back. That was great. And then they did the crossover with Kerry Washington and Viola Davis. So good, so good. Take me back. But yeah, we don't. It's hard. Crystal says, so happy Zack said the mainstream media is slowly flipping. Maybe 5% of my fear has decreased. We can only do a no filter spinoff, some solve mysteries. We can see the success, visualize it clearly. We can probably crack a few cases. Ooh, that would be fun. I don't know if I have the stomach for true crime. Love all of those and still watch Grey's. I'm surprised Grey's Anatomy is still on the air. It's been on the air for like 50 years. I actually started rewatching Scandal last night. Scandal was good. I loved Scandal. I didn't really love how it ended. I thought it was kind of a lame end. It was fine. It was good. It was fine. And How to Get Away with Murder. Oh, How to Get Away with Murder. So good. That one was a good one too. I liked that cast. I was just going to ask people if they watch South Park, Flip the Pyramid. Oh. I don't watch South Park, no. I like when they do clips and I see clips on TikTok, but I don't watch it, no. I have a crush on Sam Rockwell. Who is Sam Rockwell? I don't know who that is. Will and Grace is my comfort show. The original, not the reboot. Listen, to be fair, how many reboots have actually been good? None of them. None of them. I was so mad. Charmed was my show. I loved Charmed. And then they did that Charmed reboot. And I was like, what is this garbage? Get this smut off my TV. And I did try to watch it. I did try. Didn't like it. Not great. Not great. Speaking of Charmed, Rose McGowan, she's been talking out. Again, she did an interview where she talks about how Hollywood is a cult and she escaped the cult. She was on the We Need to Talk podcast. And she says that it was crazy working on Charmed. That was her first like real corporate experience in Hollywood. If you really want to know how a lot of things in Hollywood work, like Rose McGowan has popped that lid so many times. Have you watched the Rewatch podcast? No, well, I've seen clips of it. I did. And I was so sad because they had just brought Shannon Doherty on to host the podcast with them. And then she died. That was wild. Like one week she's like, I'm doing the Charmed Rewatch podcast, guys. I've officially joined. And then the next week, dead. Like what? I was like, what? Crazy. I do catch it from time to time, clips of it. I've never really like listened except for the Shannon Doherty episodes. But Rose McGowan is talking about how like working on Charmed was awful. She hated it. So apparently she was only supposed to come because she replaced Shannon Doherty's character. So come season 4, right? Season 4. Come season 4, they bring in Rose McGowan. Surprisingly, the show survives, which nobody expected. Everyone thought like they even sold it to Rose as like, come in, do one season, and then we'll move on. But that's not what happened. Rose ended up doing really well, and the show did really well, and so it continued on for, what was it, 7, 8 seasons? So good. I mean, it did get worse with every season. I will give it that. But you know, the last season was pretty bad, right? What was it? They made the perfect world, and then Billy and Christy came and like tried to help them fight the demons, and it got really bad. But so Rose was saying that she, like the corporate like thumb that they had on her and the other actresses, it was crazy. She's like, they would weigh me every season at the start of every season to make sure, like, she was a consistent weight. They got mad. They didn't like her. She gets into it a lot more in her book, Brave. I remember reading it when it first came out. And she talks about how, like, the actresses had to keep their hair the same. But, like, for some reason, Alyssa Milano was always able to change her hair on the show. She was always mixing it up. But she's like, when Holly Marie Combs got rid of her bangs, the network was pissed. And then when Rose McGowan dyed her hair red, the network was pissed. So there were a lot of those things. But she said that they weighed her, and they said that they didn't want to let her out of her contract. She threatened to leave. She's like, well, what happens if I smoke a bong? Like, are you going to fire me then? And then she's like, what? And if you fire me, I don't care. I'll go work at Walgreens. And they're just like, of course, they had a vested interest in Rose McGowan at the time. So they're not like, Rose McGowan is not going to go then get seen and photographed working at Walgreens. Like, she was down to work at Walgreens. She didn't care. She was always very, like, anti-establishment. Whereas they were like, no, you're not going to work at Walgreens. If you leave and you break your contract, we will sue you and we will garnish all of your wages. And not only your wages, so even if you go to work at Walgreens, we're going to make sure we garnish those wages for the money that you're going to owe us for a breach of contract, which is how they got Holly Marie Combs to return after Shannon Doherty was fired, because Holly didn't want to come back. It was her and Shannon, Holly and Shannon all the way. So they threatened Holly the same way. And so that's why Holly had to come back. And so that's how these actresses get locked into these contracts with these big corporations, because they will, if there's a vested interest and there's money to be made, they're not going to lose you. That's why Shannon Doherty didn't quit. They fired her. And listen, they fired her. It seems like because Alyssa Milano was willing to file a lawsuit, and it was going to be like bad press, and it was ultimately going to kill the show. And they just figured Shannon Doherty was the easier one to lose because she had already had a reputation of being difficult, and Alyssa Milano did not. Interesting. So yeah, Rose is talking about that on this new podcast. What was the name of it? We Need to Talk. That's what it's called. It's called We Need to Talk with Rose McGowan. But yeah, said that she kept having to come back season after season. Crazy. And she also says that she doesn't believe that Hollywood's changed, that they just, have found ways to get themselves better PR to make it look like they've changed, but they really haven't changed. But isn't that crazy that they said that they would threaten her and garnish her wages, and then when they were done with her, they would go after her family? Crazy. We've been doing a lot of pop culture history lessons this week. We had all the Hilary Duff fallouts, which I did a video about that and posted it on TikTok and Instagram. And today we learned about Christy Carlson Romano's very lackluster resume, Charmed, and how the WB used to work back in the day. Crazy. Buffy the Vampire Slayer. They have a reboot coming out, and Sarah Michelle Gellar's in it. She looks good. Sarah Michelle Gellar, spoiler, I Know What You Did Last Summer. Great movie. Reboot was good. I hear they're making another one, and Brandy's going to be in it. But there was a cameo from Sarah Michelle Gellar. That was good. Even though she was dead, she was Helen. Helen died. Helen was in there in a dream sequence, and it was great. And she looked great. Well, Buffy comes back. If Buffy comes back, I will definitely watch. It is coming back. But it's coming back, but I believe it's coming back in like a there's like a new Buffy. There's a new Vampire Slayer. And Buffy, because Buffy dies in the original Buffy. And so I guess she I don't know how they incorporate her. They've kept like the entire plot under lock and key. But we do know that there is a new Vampire Slayer, and Buffy somehow is there to like help her. That was the worst sequel ever. You didn't like what was it? I Know What You Did Last Summer? Zack needs a Helen Keller Lives Matter. Oh, a Helen Keller Lives shirt? Needs a Helen Keller Lives? So it's a Buffy spinoff. Yeah, it's a Buffy spinoff. Sarah never gets old. Nope. She drinks the blood of children, the blood of babies. I think Buffy is the watcher for the new Slayer. Oh, that would make sense. From reboot was horrible. It was terrible. It was so bad. All right, guys. I love you. I appreciate you. I hope you had a great day. I hope you had a great week. I'll be back tomorrow. Oh, Helen Keller Live, not Helen Keller Lives. Say what? Lives. I'm confused. I still know every word to Once More with Feeling. What is Once More with Feeling? I'm assuming it's an old song. All right. Love you. Appreciate it. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. If you want bonus episodes, ad-free episodes, then definitely be sure to become a member of No Filter All Access. Let's do a members only Zoom call this weekend. Let's do it this weekend. That way we are all set, locked, loaded, and ready to kick off this new year. All right, guys, I love you. And we have to pick a book for book club. So if you have recommendations, drop a comment below with what. Oh, maybe we should do Spencer Pratt's book, right? That comes out this month. Would you guys be down for Spencer Pratt's book? I'm down for Spencer Pratt's book for book club this month. All right, guys, I love you. I appreciate you. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, become a member of No Filter All Access, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. All right. Love you. Appreciate you. Ciao for now. Bye, guys. Bye, 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 bye.